So the NFC playoff picture, can you put it up there if you have it, Mr. Hoskins? Thank you, sir. The Giants beating the Commanders on Sunday night is just flat out huge. I mean, 8-5-1, sitting there in the 6th spot. How about Giants and Niners? Maybe as a playoff game, right? We'll be showing all those footage, all those.
Trey Junkin.
Well, Trey Junkin, obviously, though, Leonard Marshall blowing up Joe Montana. Ended Montana's San Francisco career.
That it did.
So that would be incredible. And then there's that 7th spot. The Commanders sitting there at 7-6-1, a half game in front of the Seahawks and Lions, and then the Packers still alive. Who will make it in the playoffs in the 6 and 7 seeds right there? Because the Cowboys have already clinched a spot. Now, normally in the NFL world, you ask that of any coach, they'll say, I don't have a crystal ball. And that's one of our favorite coaching cliches. I don't have a crystal ball. How can I tell who's going to make the playoffs? There's 3 games to go.
Well, you need.
And then somebody might even respond to me if I ask that question. Well, you don't have a crystal ball either. And then my answer will be,
say what?
hell, I don't. I have a crystal ball. Here it is.
Hell, I don't.
Right here. You got to get the Roku channel. Folks see it. It is just glorious. I mean, it's so damn heavy. I nearly need to be in traction just taking it out of the box.
It hurt watching.
So we're going to use this crystal ball to tell you who's making the playoffs in the NFC. With 3 games to go, we even have some production value to go along with it.
I tell you, I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea.
There it is. Crystal ball it. Crystal ball it. Very good music. I like that It's wonderful. We don't still have that music, do we?
Tape is off.
Okay, go for it. Give me some NFL Films music at least to go along with it. Okay. First up, I look in the crystal ball and I see the Green Bay Packers. To go along with what I see in this crystal ball, there's 3 games left in the crystal ball in the Green Bay Packers schedule. At Miami, home for Minnesota, home for Detroit. The Packers need to win all 3 and get some help. They got to win all 3 and get some help. They lose one of them. If you put it into any playoff generator, the New York Times has that, how can this team make the playoffs, and what their percentages is when you put in wins and losses for everybody.
Yeah, I got 538 up right now.
You put any loss in for the Green Bay Packers and it's over. Pretty much the computers believe 8 and 9 ain't making it. I look in the crystal ball, and what do I see? I see a loss in Miami this weekend. That's what I see. I see a loss in Miami this weekend. I think the I do. I think the Miami Dolphins have lost 3 in a row and 4 in a row. They have an offense that I think the Packers are going to have a very difficult time stopping, and an offense that I think the Packers are going to have a very difficult time keeping up with. If you want, I have them with a win against Minnesota at home, just because these crazy things happen. And then that last one with Detroit, I'll revisit in a minute when I look in the crystal ball and I see the Detroit Lions.
All right, Rich, so with the percentages.
Yes.
With a loss this weekend, Packers down to 1%.
I mean, it's milk.
As it stands right now, they have an 8% chance. A win in Miami, though, 19%.
Aha. Very good. Do you have a crystal ball over there or just a computer?
I have a computer.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, sorry.
I have a crystal ball, sir, which trumps your computer. Next up, the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders have 3 games left. At San Francisco, home for Cleveland, home for Dallas. Now, if the Packers win out, they need the Commanders to lose 2 of their last 3 and wind up at 8-8-1. 9-8 beats 8-8-1. You don't need a computer or a crystal ball to know that. But I look in the crystal ball, and what do I see? I see them winning 2 of their last 3. Ooh. I see them losing in San Francisco. I see them beating Cleveland at home. And I see them beating Dallas because I think Dallas is going to rest their starters. I don't think Dallas is going to play a damn person in that game.
Yeah, Jerry plays. He's going to play.
I know they play everybody, but there's no reason to risk a damn thing. They'll probably play them maybe a series or 2 and then take everybody out.
Well, Rich, what you're saying makes sense, and sometimes Dallas doesn't do things that make sense. So
okay, very good.
I don't know.
I have the Washington Commanders finishing up 9-7-1. Does that help have them make the playoffs?
That has them at 81%.
I'm looking in the crystal ball though, and I'm looking at the Seattle Seahawks. They're 7-7. They're just a half game behind. I don't know why I'm making this hand motion. I think it just is makes it seem like I could see the future better.
It's way cooler.
Actually, what it is, it's also I'm wiping some of the dust off.
Oh, you need to activate the ball, Mike. So
The Seattle Seahawks have a game at Kansas City, home against the Jets, home against the Rams. I have the Seahawks losing in Kansas City. I have the Jets winning in Seattle because I cannot put my head on the pillow having them get eliminated from the playoffs by Geno Smith. I can't handle it. So I'm just going to put that, look in the crystal ball, see my own biases, and then have them beating the Rams at home. I have them finishing 9-8. I have them finishing 9-8. Oh, no, pardon me. That makes them 8-9. I have them finishing 8-9. I have them finishing 8-9, which takes them out of the playoffs.
They're out.
You don't even give me the percentage of that.
Not
I have them winning, going
0.
8. Okay.
Percentage is 0.
Next up, I have the New York Giants. They're 8-5-1. Basically, they got to win 2 of their last 3, and it looks really good for them. I look in the crystal ball, and I see a loss against the Minnesota Vikings. I see a loss against the Vikings in Minnesota. I see a win at home against Indianapolis, and I see Philadelphia resting every last person. They might even tell Jaws to go to sleep. That's however, they're going to rest anybody to do anything with the last 40 years of Eagles football.
Sal Pal?
Sal Pal is the one administering the medicine, I think.
The Rocky statue?
Yeah, the Rocky statue is going to lay that on its side. And I have the Giants finishing 10-6-1.
They're in.
They're in the playoffs. I have a check mark next to them.
They are in.
Last but not least, Dan Campbell
Oh, yeah.
coached, Jared Goff quarterbacked, Aaron Hutchinson. Hey, about it. Aiden Hutchinson's got that heartbeat going. You go. Detroit Lions.
This is awesome.
I'm looking in my crystal ball,
Love it.
and I see them playing Carolina and Carolina. I see them at home against Chicago and then going to Green Bay. And I'm looking in my crystal ball, and I see the Detroit Lions. Wait a minute. Do I really see that? I'm going to act here. Wait a minute. What do I see? I see the Lions winning out.
Yes.
I see them winning out.
Do it.
I see them winning 9 of their last 10. I see them at 10-7.
In.
I see them at 10-7 as the 7th seed, taking their wares maybe to Minnesota one more time to play a playoff game. I see Vikings-Lions in the playoffs, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
I crystal ball it, and I see the Giants as your 6th seed and the Detroit Lions as your 7th seed, 2 10-win teams telling the Washington Commanders, thanks for playing, and the Packers and the Seahawks are out too. That's my crystal ball view of the NFC playoff picture.
Nice.
Yeah? What do you think? What do you guys think?
I love it.
I see them going into Green Bay and winning that game. I see them, it's one of those, you know what? Lions, that's such a nice storyline that you guys are 9-7 and all.
Right.
And I know for a fact they're going to have to win that game in order to make the playoffs. I just feel it.
Especially if Green Bay loses next week in
'Cause-
Miami, they're basically eliminated. So
Washington against Dallas and Green Bay and Detroit will be played at the same time because that means so much. That Washington needs to beat Dallas to get to 9-7-1 and take care of their business if Detroit trips up and finishes at 9-8. And Seattle might finish 9-8 too. If they beat the Jets, they might finish 9-8. That's going to be a wild affair. I think those 3 games, Detroit and Green Bay, Seattle and Rams, Washington and Dallas will all be played at the same time because that's going to determine who's the 7th seed. See that in my crystal ball. I even see some of them are on Fox, and Fox might even call one of them America's Game of the Week, even though not all of America is seeing it at the same time. Yeah, I see that. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.